Take a live look at it raining. Boy, coming down in the community of Perry as we track the threat of severe weather that's moving toward the Tulsa metro tonight. Possibility of tornadoes in our area this evening.
Yeah, a lot of heavy rain you're seeing right there. The Fox23 severe weather team has warned you for days about this threat and provided live updates throughout the day so you know what to expect. Our team coverage continues now with Chief Meteorologist James Adelot and the latest track of those storms.
We're still in a break in Tulsa right now, but overall, our severe weather risk starting to climb. We're seeing more and more of these kind of random showers trying to bubble up, and that's kind of an indication that large-scale lift is happening. You need lift to generate these thunderstorms, and that's what we're seeing. So far, none of these have shown any signs that they will become severe quickly. As we look on the wide view, storms earlier in northeast Oklahoma have moved into southwestern Missouri, a tornado warning in effect for Joplin, and storms to our west continue to move in as well. These are approaching parts of Pawnee County right now. The warning is just for Noble County, including the Perry area, but it's kind of a messy cluster of strong to severe thunderstorms right now, continuing to move kind of a little closer to Pawnee right now. So if we had a tornado down with this storm, it would be located just now to the south of 412 and northeast of Perry. I want to do a track on that storm quickly for those of you that could be in western parts of Pawnee County and watching this storm approach. So we're watching closely for Watchorn and Masham right now in extreme western Pawnee County, still to the west of the city of Pawnee right now, which is located right where that 64 logo is. Now, Fox23 storm tracker John Maples watched an earlier couple of tornadoes in parts of Logan and Kingfisher County, and he's in Perry right now. John, what are you saying?
Currently, we're in Perry, and we're having very heavy winds and rain and lightning. We had a wall cloud just over I-35 about 7-8 minutes ago.
Okay, John, thanks for the report. It looks like if we've got a tornado trying to form, it would be located right in here. Let me zoom into this, and then we're going to check in with Laura Mock because we've got an updated tornado watch. And this circulation actually a little bit stronger right here, just to the north of the community of Sumner. It did produce a confirmed tornado. You can see it is not that far at all from the county line here in parts of Pawnee County. So watching in Watchorn right down here, this is only about 5 to 6 miles away. This is Highway 177. This is the Cimarron Turnpike, Highway 412. So as this moves to the northeast, it's going to be very close to the Watchorn community and crossing the Cimarron Turnpike. So this is going to be after the Cimarron Turnpike takes that big turn to the north of Stillwater. This is going to pass well north of Stillwater as it crosses the Cimarron Turnpike and very close to 177. Now, as I was saying, a new tornado watch has been issued for the rest of eastern Oklahoma, too. Let's check in with Fox23 certified meteorologist Laura Mock with more. Laura?
And we are seeing that threat of tornadoes, tornado-producing storms increasing now in the next few hours across the rest of Green Country. Before the tornado watch was in effect for Tulsa and Okmulgee and areas off to the west, the rest of Green Country has now been included in this, as well as Montgomery County, Kansas, including Independence. So that tornado threat starting to get real now as we get a little bit later into the day. As we take a look at the radar predictor, I took you through the next couple of hours a little earlier on. We'll go through it again. 7 o'clock this evening, like James was talking about, we're starting to see more storms trying to bubble up just to the south of Tulsa, around Tulsa too. If any of those can really get going, we are going to have the potential for those to start rotating and that threat of tornadoes this evening. And look how long this threat goes, even through 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Once we get a little bit later into the evening hours, then our focus is going to be turning to the flood threat. We're still going to have the chance of quick spin-up tornadoes along this line, but very heavy rainfall is expected as this line of thunderstorms starts to move through the area. So continuing this forward, 4 o'clock in the morning, Tuesday, we're still dealing with the storms moving through Green Country. Again, quick spin-up tornadoes still possible through Tuesday morning. And if you've noticed, where we were seeing that heavy rain, that stuck around for a really long time over the same areas. That's why the flood threat is such a concern today. Things finally will clear out once we get into Tuesday afternoon. So as we take a look at what to expect from these storms as they move through, our threats today are very high. In fact, flooding threat is going to be our highest concern. Today, the tornado threat, wind threat, and hail threat are real as well. Now, we're still tracking a lot of storm activity across Oklahoma, even starting to move into green country now. And Chief Meteorologist James Adelot still tracking those storms as they move through the area. We have a tornado warning just to the west of our area, currently approaching the Pawnee area. Haven't had any reports just yet of that officially getting into our area just at the moment, but we're still keeping a very close eye on it, and we're also going to be keeping a very close eye as we get a little bit later on into the evening hours too. So, James, you're still looking at everything behind the scenes. What are you seeing now?
Yeah, that tornado warning we've talked about, necessary for western Pawnee County. There it is. Now, the city of Pawnee included in this tornado warning, but here's the rotation crossing the Cimarron Turnpike right here, and now we've got an active tornado warning in our counties, so we will start continuous weather coverage at this point now. So this is the rotation very close to the Cimarron Turnpike. I'm going to do a track on that storm right now. And again, what we're looking at right along 177 and the Cimarron Turnpike, this is north of Stillwater right now. And as this tornado moves to the east, it's moving very quickly, 40 to 45 miles per hour. It's taken a big right-hand turn. That's what's going to keep it kind of hovering next to a front that's managed to focus the lift in that area. So as long as it continues to ride along very close to that front, we will have an enhanced tornado risk basically right down the Cimarron Turnpike until it takes that turn back south into parts of Pawnee County. So this is our tracks toward Watchorn, Masham, Pawnee, and Ralston in the next 30 to 35 minutes or so, all the way up past 7 o'clock. We look at this with velocity, and what we're seeing kind of right in here, that's going to be that area of potential rotation as it forms southeast of Red Rock. I want to look at this with high-definition Doppler radar right now, and as we zoom right on in, this is the Cimarron Turnpike and mile marker number 16 right here. So that's the rotation. It's going to be very close again to the community of Watchorn. As we track this storm to the east, I'm going to take a look right now as we zoom right into this storm. Again, continuing to move just out of Noble County and into parts of Pawnee County just in the next few minutes. So as we check velocity here, this is where we're seeing the rotation. So it looks like the center of rotation may be now just to the north of the Cimarron Turnpike, but it's kind of a close call here. We look at correlation coefficient. The beam height's still pretty high up here. We're not seeing any indication that we have lofted debris, but you can kind of clearly see where this little notch is. That's where that tornado potential is growing with this storm. Now, we have had earlier with this thunderstorm complex some really strong winds sweep through as this crosses over, gosh, it looks like just to the south of Pawnee, and it looks like it perhaps is just to the north now of the Cimarron Turnpike, getting very close to the Watchorn community in western parts of Pawnee County. So that is Highway 15 that it's going to be very close to, and it's very close to Highway 177 right now as we zoom in right here. So this is Highway 177. This is State Highway 15. So this potential tornado, again, not confirmed, at least through parts of Pawnee County right now, but as this continues moving toward the north or toward the east, maybe east-northeast, watching it very closely right along Highway 15 from 177 all the way east to basically Pawnee and Highway 18 here. So this is something we've watched this spin up a tornado, this particular cell, just a little bit earlier too. And as it moves toward the east, that's going to be right along Highway 15, moving over toward Highway 18. So this is mainly in western parts of Pawnee County. The center of this rotation still looks like it may pass just to the north of the city of Pawnee. But again, if this takes, again, a little bit more of a right turn, we're going to keep Pawnee in the danger area just out of an abundance of caution. Now, elsewhere, we don't have any severe weather ongoing in the metro area. We are also watching that flood risk very closely, too. Flash flood warnings in effect for Osage County and Pawnee County. But at least short term, that tornado-warned storm moving out of Noble County into western Pawnee County is the critically important weather information. Metro Tulsa, we have some showers bubbling up so far, nothing imminent. I still think our best, most likely time for seeing a severe weather moving into parts of the metro area will now likely be after 6 o'clock at this current rate, and more likely as we get into the middle of the evening, with lift just gradually increasing in a very unstable atmosphere that we have right now. Let me check the motion on this storm as it continues to move very close to the county line right now. National Weather Service saying moving east at about 55 miles per hour. So that is a fast-moving storm as it moves right close now to the Pawnee and Noble County line and moving toward the east. And again, starting to smooth out just a little bit right here, which still, I don't see a very sharp rotation with this storm just yet, but we're still watching it. If we've got a tornado, it's likely right on the leading edge of some of this heaviest rain right now. And we're going to put this right along Highway 15, 177 in the Cimarron Turnpike area. So Watchorn community, watch it very closely too. Pawnee and Ralston, anywhere along Highway 15 over to State Highway 18. So we're talking kind of the western third of Pawnee County where we could see this storm produce a tornado. Now, it's not a big supercell thunderstorm like we've seen already in parts of southwest Oklahoma produce confirmed tornadoes too, but so far that has been the closest storm and the only tornado warning in our area so far this afternoon. Now, you can also see all these green boxes in place because we've had very heavy rain falling in this area. That is causing some flash flood concerns already. Long term, we've had a flash flood warning in Montgomery County from earlier showers and thunderstorms. That has expired. But as we come up to that current picture, it's the tornado warning in Pawnee County that's in effect until 6:15. We do have one of our storm trackers in that area right now. National Weather Service actually expanding the northern edge of that tornado warning just a bit now, up including the community of Fairfax too. So we'll be just kind of expanding that tornado warning. You can see that new skinnier part added on to the top of the original tornado warning. Let's zoom right in here and kind of inspect this storm closely is what we're seeing. It looks like that's going to be our main rotation right now. And it looks like just east now of Highway 177. So this is right on the county line with Pawnee County and Noble County, and just very close to Highway 15, State Highway 15 right here, and right in the Arkansas River bottoms, just getting ready to move into the Arkansas River bottoms. This is where it looks like that main circulation could be starting to reform. A quick check on high-resolution Doppler radar, and if indeed we're seeing that reform, yeah, we're looking just up to the north in the Watchorn community right now, and that's what we're seeing. That rotation is just to the northwest of the community of Watchorn. That's a great signal for Pawnee right now too, because that means that circulation just a little bit further to the north. I'm looking at dual pole Doppler radar right now and not seeing any evidence of lofted debris, so we may not have a tornado down now, but that's some strong rotation. It has moved out of Noble County now and into the river bottoms just to the north of Watchorn. So this is going to be crossing over the Arkansas River here as we kind of expand that view just a little bit. This is Ralston, kind of obscured here by the severe thunderstorm and tornado warning polygons. Here's Fairfax, Remington, and Burbank. So Remington, Burbank areas all the way over to Pawhuska. Not technically in the tornado warning polygon, but you need to be watching this storm just out of an abundance of caution. Left side of your screen, you can see a Fox 23 severe weather team in Pawnee right now, continuing to watch that storm as it moves just a little bit closer. But I want to do an updated track now with that new location of this rotation. We'll put that rotation on the storm, again, just to the north of Highway 15 and to the east now of Highway 177. So it's going to be kind of right in here. That appears to be where that newest circulation is starting to form right now. We'll put a track on this storm as it moves to the northeast, or moves to the east. And again, it's moving very quickly. It could be up to 50 miles per hour. So here's Masham, Ralston, Osage Junction, Gray Horse. Now, if this holds together, Fairfax in the tornado warning polygon, not in this track I just drew, but you need to take your tornado precautions right now, and especially in Ralston as this continues to move toward the east. Now, our team coverage continues right now. We've got Fox 23 meteorologist Brad Carl and Laura Mock all in the Fox 23 Severe Weather Center. And Laura, kind of pinpointing this rotation just to the north of Watchorn in extreme western Pawnee County.
And this has been our first taste of tornadic storms today on what could be a very long day. As we take a look at the wide view Fox23 Doppler radar, we've been watching these storms form off to our west, and now they are just starting to get into our area. We're also going to be watching some of these showers starting to bubble up over the Tulsa area. If any of those get going, those will also have the potential of developing tornadoes too. So let's go ahead and come in a little bit closer to those storms that we're currently tracking, some of that rotation in the area as well. So as we come in a little bit closer, I'm going to go ahead and pause this now. And coming in, you can see that tornado warning like James has been talking about, covering a large portion of Pawnee County and also moving into Osage County too. As we do an updated track on this, we're talking here's Highway 15 just to the east of 177, bringing this out. And it doesn't look like my hand tracking is working currently right now. This is going to be approaching the Ralston and Fairfax area very soon. This is currently going over the river bottoms here right at that county line. This is the area that you need to be paying attention to. Highway 18 here. This is going to be going to the north of Pawnee, moving just along that county line right along the river. This is north of Highway 15. And actually, as we come in a little bit closer, and I'm just going to go ahead and bring this in a little bit closer so I don't have to walk completely off the screen. So as we come in and we're looking at that rotation, let me just bring this back a little bit, bring it forward. Looks like the rotation has come down just a touch, but it's still there as we take a look at this, and now we'll be able to put a better track on this. So bringing it out, here we are, Ralston, 609, 614, Fairfax, Gray Horse, 619. And as this continues to move to the east, we are still going to have the potential for a tornado to develop. This storm has had a history of tornadoes develop as it's moved out from central Oklahoma and closer to our area. So just because this has a history of producing a tornado, that only increases the chance that we may see another one. So take these storms very seriously today. We have already seen several dangerous tornadoes outside of our area, but not too far away. Central Oklahoma, southwestern Oklahoma, we've already seen very dangerous storms there, and we're continuing to track this one as it starts to move into our area. And we're also watching a couple of other storms too. I'm going to go ahead and zoom this out just a little bit more. I'm keeping an eye on the storm that we currently have going through northern Osage County too. We've had signs of at least some weak rotation with that. And as we come in a little bit closer, if we have any developments from this, we are getting closer to the 4-acre area, starting to move into the Tallgrass Preserve in northern Osage County. So that right now, that does not have a tornado warning on it, but it is going to be an area that I'm going to be watching as we go through the rest of the day. And we're going to be having to deal with several more storms as we go through the rest of the evening and overnight too. And we have the full Fox 23 severe weather team out and about today. Many of us here in studio, some of us out in the field. We're going to continue our Fox 23 severe weather team coverage with certified meteorologist Brad Carl. Brad, what do you got?
Yeah, we are expecting to see more in the way of storms coming our way over the next several hours. As we've kind of been alluding to, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's lots more ahead, including for the metro. So look here behind me on Fox 23 radar predictor, and you'll notice, and here's Tulsa where I'm pointing there right now. We start to see at least these more discrete cells popping on up over the next hour or two. Those ones that do pop up in front of that more main line farther out to the west will have tornado potential with them. That does include areas in Tulsa. Keep in mind, pretty much everywhere in green country right now under a tornado watch until later on this evening. Some areas east of Tulsa all the way until 1 o'clock in the morning. This is going to be a late night for many of us. As we go on through closer to 7:30, 8 o'clock, you still see those smaller little blips on the map there in areas south toward Bristow, Okemah, Holdenville, up through Bartlesville as well. Those storms, once again, will have that tornadic potential with them, as well as some larger hail and damaging wind threat. There's still that stronger line farther on off to the west, out toward areas in Stillwater, Ponca City, Areas farther to the northwest of the metro will have that heightened flood risk as well. Don't forget about that risk. Of course, right now we're in wall-to-wall coverage because of that possibility of tornadoes to our west in areas around Pawnee County. But the flood threat is very, very real, especially in those spots where we've already been pretty saturated over the last week or two, having plenty of rainfall stacking up there. And anywhere along the Arkansas River and spots around Keystone Lake will be spots to watch, as they just haven't had much time to really empty on out. Through 9:30, 10 o'clock, those storms, those isolated, discrete storms, which will have that tornado potential, do continue across the area. Additional storms, training storms, this is something that Laura talked to you about earlier on today, talked to you about last night, this possibility of storms really working over the same area over and over and over again, dumping heavy amounts of rain, which will continue to heighten that flash flood risk for us. This is now 11:30, almost midnight. We still have storms that we are dealing with. A bit more of a linear formation with them, which would be indicative of either more of these brief little spin-ups, or if anything can jump out ahead of that line, that would still be more in the way of stronger tornadic supercells. And then just see that band of rain that just continues there over to areas northwest and north of Tulsa. Very messy, very wet, and potentially very dangerous if this becomes quickly a flash flooding situation for many. By 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, we see more of that line continuing on through Tulsa. Along that, we could once again have those brief little spin-ups, those ones you have to really track very, very carefully. They can spin up very quickly and fall apart very quickly. So this is still going to continue for us later on into the night. And then by 5:30, 6, 7 o'clock, we still have some additional storms possible with that. Once again, as they work their way across green country, we'll have that brief spin-up potential with them, in addition to some very heavy rain across the area that's going to take its sweet time getting on out, heightening that flooding threat. By 9:30, 10 o'clock, we're still dealing with some of those storms, though the heaviest of which is now pushed off to the east. Likely by 11 o'clock in the morning, dealing with lingering showers across the metro as that heightened severe risk continues to march a little farther off to the east. So this is going to be a more prolonged event for us, with that possibility of some stronger tornadoes, some more discrete, quick little spin-ups for us, as well as that heavy rain and flooding threats. We have multiple threats really to worry about for tonight. Of course, we'll be live on here as long as there's tornado warnings going on or something very active across the area, as well as your Fox 23 weather app that will let you know if you need to be aware of a watch, a warning, a flash flood situation. Please don't depend on your storm sirens. Those are really only for outdoor use, and it's something you need to have really the Fox 23 weather app or a NOAA weather radio to make sure you're in the loop for the rest of this evening and overnight. Now, James, you're continuing to track this line of storms, continuing to work its way toward us, and overall still has that possibility of being able to spin up a tornado in Pawnee County.
Indeed. So that's our official tornado warning that's in effect until 6:15 right now. Again, we're watching just to the northwest of Pawnee, right along Highway 15. It's this segment. You can see that actually how there's a little notch in here. Left side of your screen, that's a live pic from our Fox 23 severe weather team in Pawnee right now. As we continue to watch that approaching storm, looks like the strongest part of the storm, at least the most likely to produce a tornado, will pass to the north of Pawnee. It's right along Highway 15 right now. So if we were to see a tornado down with this storm, it's going to be right in this area, kind of on the leading edge of the big area of red. Now, I want to track the leading edge because we'll likely see some strong wind and a big increase in heavy rain. This is moving to the east. Now, this is the part that if it continues moving east, will be moving into the metro area in probably about an hour to hour and a half. So the track on the leading edge of this heaviest line, not the rotating part, Rambo, Pawnee by 6:02, Skeety at about 6:06, Blackburn and Merrimack by 6:18. I want to look at the tornado warning part of the storm too, because as that continues to move toward the east, passing right along and over Highway 15 and Highway 18, that's going to be kind of crossing the Arkansas River, at least running right along the Arkansas River here in northern Pawnee and extreme southern Osage County. So very close to Masham and toward Ralston at about 6:03 as that moves toward the east. So the warning is in effect for southern Osage and northern Pawnee County now until 6:15. It's this potential rotation. It's the rotation that we're seeing here and a potential tornado from the storm. Let's zoom in and get a better fix on just exactly where some of that rotation is occurring, just to the northeast of Pawnee right now. Highway 18, here's the community of Ralston. Ralston, you need to be watching this one really closely and be ready to get to a shelter within seconds. The rotation located kind of right in here. Let's look at velocities. And again, we certainly see what appears to be that rotation kind of right here. This is the Arkansas River, the black line here. So if we're seeing that rotation, looks like it's right in here. Some hints we've got a little rotation here on Highway 15, but it certainly does not look like it's the magnitude of the one just a little bit further to the north of Highway 15. Further up this line, we have seen at least some occasional rotations with it as well. And again, we're looking right to the west of the community of Ralston right now. Let's come back in and get that Tulsa radar located in here north of Highway 15 and possibly right along the Arkansas River. Now, on its current motion here, this is going to stretch out toward Pawnee, kind of along Highway 18 and north of Pawnee, I should say, and toward the Pawnee County town of Ralston, which is right on the Arkansas River, right where 20 and 18 meet. As we look at high-resolution Doppler radar right now, I want to check that. And again, a little bit wider view because the metro area is still in the clear for now, but it's this part of the storm that we're watching closely. We can take a look at velocities. Again, as we look at Doppler radar, and we're kind of picking out the wind speed here. Again, Highway 15, Highway 177, that is our storm as we wipe a little rain off that camera lens in Pawnee. But you can see how this kind of bulges out right in here, right north of Highway 15. That's where we're likely seeing at least the strongest part of this rotation. And no sign at all as I check dual pole radar that we have any lofted debris with this at all. So for now, we're just kind of watching closely that rotation as it moves just fairly near the community of Ralston right now. So it's in this spot, western parts of Pawnee County. It's really it's kind of a spot here on 18 between Pawnee and Ralston. So it's kind of right in here. So it's going to ride to the northeast. I want to do an updated track on it. Again, we're looking at 45 to 50 mile per hour storm motion here. So it's moving along pretty good. I'm going to take this all the way out, including Masham here just in the next few minutes and Ralston. And right at that point, it'll be crossing Highway 20 up into southern parts of Osage County. When that happens, it will eventually make it all the way over to Highway 99 and possibly between Hominy, Winona, and Pawhuska. That's still way on down the road with this kind of setup. But if we were to see that tornado get dropped from this storm, it would be located right in here. You can see just slowly starting to approach Highway 18 in northern Pawnee County. So the main circulation passing well to the north of the city of Pawnee, where we are on the left side of your screen. That's where our Fox 23 severe weather team is located right there. Other thunderstorms across parts of eastern Oklahoma don't seem particularly strong at the moment. I'm going to bounce this radar view back out just a little bit. I'll switch back over to the regular reflectivity because as we look to the south, you can certainly see more tornado warnings down here in southwest Oklahoma, and the lift in the atmosphere that's causing these big thunderstorms is moving toward eastern Oklahoma. So this is just the beginning of what will likely be a very stormy evening for us. Now, the other thing I want you to notice, and this has been pretty persistent as I put this into motion, you can see the heaviest rain continues to fall in a kind of a narrow zone across north central Oklahoma, back into parts of southern Kansas. Unfortunately, a lot of this is falling in the Arkansas River Basin, which means that water eventually makes it into the Arkansas River, which makes it into Lake Keystone, which is still close to 20 feet above average, so above that normal conservation pool at Lake Keystone. Now, the Corps of Engineers has managed to get that lake about 4 feet lower over the last few days with that very high water discharge into the Arkansas River over the last week. So we've got a lot more room at Lake Keystone Lake than we have earlier. But we're still seeing a lot of rain falling in this area. And this, while it starts out as a flash flood threat, tonight will gradually turn into a creek and then river flooding threat too, especially on some of those smaller creeks first, as we continue to watch that rain fall. All of this is northwest of Tulsa, and of course that means it's going into the Arkansas River watershed and eventually will come our way. As we take a look right into Pawnee County again, updating you on the track of that rotation as it moves north of Pawnee. Let's take a look at velocities right now as that warning continues in effect until 6:15. Rotation now right along Highway 18 just to the west of Ralston. We can see that with the high-resolution Doppler radar right now. This is Ralston, top of your screen. It looks like that rotation. Let me center up that view just a little bit for you again. I think that rotation may be just to the west of town. It's not particularly a strong rotation right now, but it, given the atmospheric conditions that we have over Oklahoma right now, it will not take much for these things to spin up very quickly. So that's the rotation we're watching. That's been the strongest rotation and the most severe storm that has made it into our area. There are also some other threats with this too, and that is hail with this storm as well. And it looks like we're still possibly seeing a little bit of rotation with that particular part of the storm. As you look down a little bit further to the south, the high-resolution Doppler radar, we're also seeing what appears to be maybe just a little rotation closer to Glencoe right now. If that continues to move to the east, that one could be a little closer to the community of Pawnee right now. So maybe a little bit of rotation trying to form here north of Glencoe that could be moving up toward Pawnee. And if it does, we're in a great place to see this happen. Our Fox 23 severe weather team in Pawnee watching the approaching storm right now as it moves in from the west. So our circulations, again, both are not particularly strong right now. They don't appear to be producing a tornado that's down at the moment, but the rotation is still strong enough to warrant that tornado warning. And as these two circulations move to the east, the atmosphere is very much set up and supportive of rotating thunderstorms right now. So it will not take much at all in the way of a little bit of an intensification with these storms to generate another tornado touchdown from this storm. Now, as the storm moved, this one moved north of Kingfisher, close to Marshall. It had a 94-mile-per-hour straight line wind, or at least wind measured on the Oklahoma Mesonet. There's a chance it was straight line winds. There's a chance that the Oklahoma Mesonet site was actually close enough to that tornado to get some of that breeze. But our two active tornado warnings for parts of southwestern Osage County and northern Pawnee County, too, as this particular tornado-warned storm moves to the east at about 45 miles per hour. You can see it's all part of a bigger cluster of thunderstorms that is also moving east, eventually making it toward Bartlesville and toward Tulsa. Main part of this, though, still staying to the north of Interstate 40. Things are still very quiet south of Interstate 40. You're watching Fox 23 News at 6 o'clock, and the news is weather right now. We've got an active tornado warning in effect in Pawnee and southern Osage County. That is in effect now until 6:15 as we watch that move toward the east. Now, what I want to do is show you just how far to the west this line is and just when it might make it into the Tulsa area. Now, as we look at the line, you can kind of pick out that the motion of this is a little bit more to the northeast. We're looking at about 49 to 50 miles or so to the northwest of Tulsa, but it's not moving directly toward the city of Tulsa. We're going to probably have to wait for this continued development through central parts of Oklahoma to make it toward the metro area. What that means is